lane 5. Wally Eggleton is in lane number 6. He swims with Dennis Cottrell. There's 3 boys in here that train with Dennis Cottrell at Miami, and he was the coach of Grant Hackett for 2 of his 3 Olympic Games. That was Jordan Harrison. He's only 16 years of age. And here's Mac Horton. He's only 15 years of age. And late last year, he swam a time of 15:29 to break Grant Hackett's 15-year-old boys' Australian record. A long way to concentrate.
Take your marks.
This is the final of the men's 1,500-metre freestyle. Matthew Terry at the top of your screen in lane 1. George O'Brien in 2. Rob Hurley in 3. Matthew Levins in the middle of the pool in 4. Jared Port 5. Wally Eggleton in 6. Jordan Harrison 7. And Mac Horton. Big raps on him in lane 8, the 15-year-old. Now, the first world record was set back in this event, Nicole, in 1908. By Englishman Henry Taylor, and he produced a time of 22 minutes, 48.4 seconds. And you consider the world record now as 14:34, so they've knocked a lazy 8 minutes off that mark.
It has improved greatly.
Andrew Boyd Charlton.
Gee, you've done well on your history.
Is the first Aussie to hold the world record in 1924.
He won a gold medal at those Olympic Games.
Murray Rose and John Conrad's famous names both held the world record. Stephen Holland dominated this event in the 70s.
He did.
And then enter 2 blokes called Perkins and Hackett, who really redefined in the event. And let's not forget Daniel Kowalski.
I was going to say, and Glenn Houseman. Peppered in there with some great swimmers. I want to keep an eye also. I know you've done so much work on this 1500. I'm very impressed, but I want to make sure that we keep an eye on any moves that make, even at this early stage. And the 15-year-old young man over there in lane number 8, Mac Horton, is really starting to try to force everybody's hand with pace, which is a good thing, because if the boys just cruise along and have a leisurely swim, they'll miss the qualifying time of 15:11. So good on the 15-year-old for actually giving it a go.
And Matthew Levins also going reasonably well in lane 4. He's got the fastest qualifying for this 15:17.75.
I interrupted you. What else have you got for me?
No, that'll do.
That was all? Okay.
No, we should have mentioned Kowalski and Glenn Houseman. And the gold medalists in this event for the Aussies are Andrew Boyd Charlton, Murray Rose, John Conrad, Robert Windle in 64, Perkins twice, Hackett twice.
Yeah, an amazing history. So you see the importance for swimming in Australia to try and make sure we continue that history. 157.11 for Mac Horton at the 200-metre mark. I've done some research too, based around the 15-minute mark, because of course that was something that everybody was chasing, and only one man had done it for a very long time in Vladimir Selnikov. And in this city, in Adelaide, Glenn Houseman actually broke the world record of Vladimir Selnikov for the first time. It had stood for a very long time, but the timing pads didn't work, so it was never ratified as a world record. And then
broke his heart, didn't it?
It did, and then along came Jörg Hoffmann, who not only broke Vladimir Selnikov's world record, but he lowered it to a level that stood for a little bit until Perkins and Hoffmann started battling it out.
So we're moving down towards the 300-metre mark, and it is Mac Horton who is still in front, out in lane 8. In second spot is Matthew Levins in 4. Let's go down to Mark Howard, who's got a special guest with him.
Indeed, Steve. We've got all sorts of superstars lined up down here to have a chat during the 1500. Firstly, Thomas Fraser-Holmes. Tommy, you've got a couple of training partners in this one. You look a bit edgy for them.
Yeah, I sure do. I've got Geordie, Wally and Matty over there, and they're doing a great job now. They're out pretty good and look pretty relaxed, so fingers crossed they can hold on.
What type of kilometres are these boys doing a week in the training pool? You'd see plenty of them.
Yeah, we're doing probably around 70k a week, and that's a pretty big week for anyone's standards. So, yeah, we incorporate speed and distance into that. Yeah, so it's a good week.
It's been a wonderful week for yourself, mate. The 400 IM and the 200 free, plus moving into a relay. It's pinch yourself stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. I said yesterday it's been one of the weeks of my life, and I wouldn't change a thing leading into this, and I'm really thankful I have the people around me that support me and love me, and I'm really grateful for that.
You talk about those people around you. The old man Dennis, he's got more airtime than you. He's been celebrating. He's enjoyed his week. It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a bit of a rock star now. The other night I had a photo, and this mum wanted to get a photo of me and my dad, and I was laughing. I was like, what's doing? But yeah, no, he's good. He's loved it, and he's one of my good friends as well, my dad.
Tommy, we've loved your swimming all week, mate. We'll get you back to watch the 1500. Enjoy the rest of the show. Congratulations.
Thanks, Alan. Cheers.
past the 400-metre mark, and here is Mac Horton in lane 8, and he's got about, 2 body lengths on the rest of the field. Nicole, and bar one, a swimmer, Matthew Terry, who's in lane 1. It's a very even field. The rest of the race are pretty much 1, 2, 3, 6 boys, all equal second.
Well, the advantage of being in lane number 8, and we have seen an Olympic Games gold medal won from lane number 8, is that the boys aren't really aware of what Mac Horton is doing over in lane number 8. So he's setting a very nice pace. He's got a beautiful technique, Mac. He's very tall, he's very lean, he has very long arms.
Yeah.
And when you talk about an arm span compared to your height, most people have the same centimetres height as they do arm span. So for me, I'm 176 centimetres, giving away some personal information, but my arm span is 186. Most swimmers have a bigger arm span, and that is obviously an advantage in terms of having longer levers to be able to propel yourself through the water. So Mac has very long arms.
Speaking of a couple of swimmers that jumped to Midas, Mikhail Gross and
Yes.
Matt Biondi, they had the
Albatross.
massive wingspans.
Yes, very much so. So Mac Horton's doing a wonderful job here. Doesn't look as though he's pushing himself too hard. We need to actually start having a look at this qualification time and see whether or not he needs to pick it up or whether or not he's doing okay at this stage. So I'll be able to tell you at the next 100-metre mark.
Mark Howard.
Joined by another star of the team, Stephanie Rice, who was playing touch rugby today. Steph, you're enjoying the race. Saw your rugby form today. A bit of work needed there, probably.
Yeah, I can't say it's my forte. But no, it was really fun. It was good to get out and do some exercise again. I had a couple of days off racing, and it was nice just to run around with a couple of the other guys on the Olympic team.
All the team are still here tonight. Everyone's tuning in. It's a wonderful thing about Australian swimming. It's a massive team environment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great team environment, and we all get along so well. There's a great team cohesion, and I'm really excited to go into orientation camp tomorrow and just sort of fire up the energies within everyone.
Your own week, it's been fantastic. The 400 IM, the 200 IM. You came in with so many doubts about your form and your fitness. Must have just been a massive relief.
It was a huge relief, and I really had no expectation of how I was going to go. So it was really nice to qualify and have that pressure taken off on the first day after the 4 IM. And I'm really happy with the times I posted as well, especially considering the rough preparation. So I guess this is giving me a really great working block to head back into next preparation.
And how do you go into that next preparation? Because there's been so much talk about your shoulder. Do you have to manage it, or do you just put it out of your head and train?
Oh, I definitely have to manage it, and I think I always will, just because the tendon is still torn. So I have to be religious with icing it, getting physio, warming it up properly. But that's just become an everyday habit for me now, and it's just something I'm going to have to deal with.
You're a star, Steph. We'll see you in London.
Thank you so much.
Stephen, not too far away, the big boy too, James Magnussen, just getting around pool deck in some very skinny jeans. We'll be speaking to him shortly.
Now, Mac Horton's still in front here, Howie, but Jared Port, Nicole, has really made his move in the last 100 metres. We're now up to the 700-metre mark. Firstly, how are they on pace for a 15-minute 1500, and what's Port up to now?
Well, it's actually good that Mac Horton's got some company. They are on a very good pace. That was 7 minutes and 3 seconds. So Mac can now see where Port is, Jared Port, and this will push him along. 15:11 is where he needs to be quicker than, and he is right on target for that now.
We're going to take a break. You're watching the Energy Australia Swimming Championships of 2012. Back for the second half of the men's 1500 free after this. 400 metres to go in the men's 1500 freestyle final, and it's still Mac Horton in front. It's a two-man race. Jared Port, there you can see in the middle of the pool, is second, and third posse at the moment would be George O'Brien, just ahead there of Wally, in fact, Jordan Harrison. So Jordan Harrison is in fourth. How's the pace, Nicole?
The pace has just slipped off the qualifying time a little bit, and interesting, I know that a lot of people are watching this coverage. I just got a text message from a good friend who has...
very well-known
Well, he has a couple of
swimmer.
Olympic Games gold medals in the 1500, more recently than the other dual Olympic Games gold medalist. And Grant Hackett's just told me Mac needs to actually realise he's got his legs there. He needs to start bringing the legs in and really start to sprint it up now. It's only 300 to go.
Let's go down to Mark Howard.
Joined on pool deck by a man that is not used to watching this much swimming, let alone doing it. James Magnussen, the 1500, very different to what you're doing, Jim.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm not exactly sure if they're doing a good time or if they're on target, but yeah, a little bit different to what I'm used to.
You've been on target all week, mate. You've been doing the media rounds this morning. It's been a wonderful week for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, really exciting week for me. Sort of ticked all the boxes, achieved everything I wanted to, and now looking forward to a bit of R&R before preparing for London.
You're going to be one of the most famous names in Australia for the next 3 months, whether you like it or not. Are you going to withdraw from it? How are you going to deal with that, Jim?
I've got a really good management company and a good support team around me, so we can sort of come in and out of the media where need be. sort of target a few areas where we think we may need some exposure, and other times when we sort of want to stay quiet.
Have you been dreaming about that moment when you get up to London and get on the blocks and get to the end of the pool?
Yeah, it's a little hard to picture London at the moment because I don't know what the pool looks like or anything. But every now and then I have the little thought of looking up at the board and seeing my name number 1 and stuff like that. So starting to get pretty excited.
A lot of people hope that'll come true. Congratulations on a great week, Jim.
Thanks a lot, Howie.
200 metres to go. It's Horton from Port, and O'Brien is in third position. Nicole, how do you read the time? They need to swim 15:11.83 to qualify.
Well, they need to basically do the last 200 metres in a 1:58 to get under this qualifying time. It's a big ask, but the last 100, I expect to see Mac Horton, that boy on screen in lane number 8, bring his legs in a little bit. Jared Port is coached by Ron McKeon, who has just put David McKeon onto the team, the West Illawarra Club. And quite obviously, these boys work together nicely. But with 150 metres to go, hopefully this crowd can give them a bit of a lift, and we might be able to see them go under the 15:11. This little boy he's not little, he's 15 years of age. He's a superstar in the making. Jared Port.
He's only 17.
He's only 17, swimming a fantastic time as well. So this is our future.
So it's Mac Horton in front, just ahead of Jared Port. In third position over in lane 2 is George O'Brien, who's finishing strongly, but it won't be enough to reel in these two boys. Mac Horton turns, 100 to go, 14:15.19 is his time.
56 for the last 100 he needs to swim. Jared Port bringing in the big 6-beat kick. Mac Horton, this is all in the bank for experience tonight. Hopefully he can get on the wall first. Hopefully they can sprint together and actually get a little bit closer to that qualifying time. The B qualifying time is 15:43. We need to keep that in mind. We will know on June 26 whether the B qualifiers will be selected into the team once all the B qualifiers around the world have finished their qualification.
50 metres to go. Mac Horton now has conceded first spot to Jared Port. O'Brien is in third position, so it's Port and then Horton.
Big 6-beat kick, a big sprint from Jared Port, so he will be the one that goes into contention for the B qualifying for the Olympic Games.
The 17-year-old is powering home. Jared Port, he's going to finish first. Mac Horton is going to finish second. The time will be outside the A qualifying, not far away though. Horton touches second, and in third spot is George O'Brien.
What a fantastic swim by those two boys. 15:13.38, so not too far off it. He knows that already. A second and a half outside of the qualifying time. And Mac Horton, well done. You should be proud of that. Well done to Craig Jackson and Ian Pope, his two coaches, and to Ron McKeon, the coach of our winner, Jared Port.
So just to explain that, Nicole, the first place getter can still go to London if his time's good enough once every country's had their trials.
So all the trials take place around the world. America's the last to have those trials. All of the swimmers that have made a B qualifying time, which Jared just has, will go into basically a pool. And the top 200, and they'll take into consideration of the smaller nations, the African nations. You know, it used to be called Olympic Solidarity. It's not called that now. So they will give them the Eric the Eel type moments.
Yep.
You know, so they go into that pool, and it depends on how many numbers they've had qualifying, A qualifying, before the B qualifiers get through. So it's a waiting game now for Jared Port. He will have to keep training right up until June 26 when we find out.
And right now after that, he doesn't want to know anything about training. He'd be hurting.
Mac Horton has just done an Australian age record.
There's a name to chalk down for sure.
By 15 seconds. He's just, and think of the names we had. You know, Hackett was on the team at that age. He's just taken 15 seconds off the age group record.
So that is it for the men's 1500-metre freestyle final. It's time now to say goodbye to our 10 viewers. Please switch over to 1 if you want to keep watching the swimming.